Hi, everyone. Welcome to Real Life Healing, Teach, Learn, Connect. It's our Tuesday night class, and we're glad you're here. And my name is Lane Adams, and I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate. I've been using essential oils for nearly 10 years. We're coming up on my 10-year anniversary. So doTERRA's 15-year anniversary is just right around this time and season. And so I'm just, 5 years behind that, but we love our essential oils, and I'm really excited to be able to be sharing with you tonight about how to handle change gracefully. And at the end, I'll stop the recording and then we can chat if you have any questions. So just jot down some notes if you have any questions. Tonight, we are going to talk about change and how to handle it gracefully. We're also going to talk about how our doTERRA essential oils can be used to support us as we handle change gracefully. We all experience change, and we just talked about the weather changing. So that is change. Some people struggle when there's, no sun and there's just clouds and gray. And there's even, they call it seasonal affective disorder for some people. So they go into that season and they have trouble handling that because they love the summer, and we all love summer, but there is change within seasons. So seasons are kind of natural part of life, and they're also a natural part of life, just like change. Moving is a change. Kids going off to college is a change. A new job, a new boss at your work, or, a new supervisor, that's a change. New family members, and even change with a loss. Whether it's a loss of a job, a loss of a family member, a loss of a pet. So change is fluid, and it can be both positive or negative. And when things change in our life, it can impact our emotional health, of course, but that also in turn can affect our physical well-being. So you might even feel out of control or overwhelmed in situations that you didn't expect to feel that way. However, learning to manage the way we deal with change in different situations will benefit our emotional and our physical health as well. So our outlook on the world affects how we deal with new situations. In general, if you have a negative outlook on life, like a glass half empty outlook, major changes may worsen the feelings, and the negative thoughts and feelings can also lead to greater stress. I am going to share a little story about my daughter, one of my children. If I don't name which one, then it keeps it anonymous. But when she was a little girl, there was a bird outside, and it was a crow or a raven, I'm not sure which, but it was cawing and making a lot of sound. And she was probably 3 years old. And she said, "That bird is laughing at me." And she was angry about it. And she took the glass half empty kind of approach, that the bird was laughing at her and being unkind. And it made her angry and just upset. And so I thought that was just a funny way to look at that. And that's more of that negative glass half empty mindset. So even if a change is positive or negative, it can still be stressful and upsetting to some people. This is because our once comfortable way of life can all of a sudden look different, even if it's a good change. So you're kind of put out of your comfort zone, and it makes it harder to deal with change. So when stress becomes overwhelming, it can affect your emotional health. And that can also then add to stress and other issues that can affect your physical health. Stress caused by change may have just kind of triggered or exacerbated some symptoms that can hurt your overall well-being. And oftentimes we stop doing things that actually keep us well, like eating healthy. So if we're in a big major change in our life, we stop preparing good foods, and we stop maybe exercising or resting properly, or even taking our supplements. So it's so important to keep doing the things that you know are supportive to your health and wellness when you're going through change. Some of those physical manifestations brought on by change might be head tension, trouble sleeping, digestive discomfort, muscle tension, backaches, issues with regulating your blood pressure, low mood, anxiousness, irritability, eating too much or too little, and even alcohol or drug abuse for some people. There's a thing called, as you see on the screen, something called uncertainty bias, and that impacts how you deal with change. So when a major life change happens, your brain automatically sees it as negative. Our brain has this uncertainty bias. So like, I am not comfortable with this. I don't understand it. So it must be negative. But this uncertainty bias can influence your decision-making process and increase the feelings of anxiousness and low mood. And so just knowing that that is part of our makeup as humans, that we have this uncertainty bias, just knowing that that happens is something you can recognize when you start to come upon some sort of major change in your life. So here are some things you can do to support yourself when you're going through changes and will help you handle change gracefully. Find something familiar. So this is something, it's kind of a grounding point that will help guide you through those unfamiliar times when you're going through change. It's something like performing your daily habits. Like I said before, keep doing the positive things that you do for your health and wellness. Don't stop doing them just because you're in a change. My daughter is in the process of moving, and she was saying, oh, when you're moving, you're just not preparing the healthy meals that you typically prepare. And so that's a change, and it's a good change because they're moving to a beautiful new home. However, the daily habit of preparing healthy meals kind of gets pushed to the side. And so sometimes that can add to the negative kind of impact of that change. Another thing you can do is get back into your healthy routines and choose simple tasks that you enjoy, and even reach for your favorite essential oil. These things that that are comfortable to you and familiar to you can help ease stress during a time of change. And then the coping strategies that you see on the screen are some tricks of the trade, I suppose, that if you were to go and seek support and help, they might ask you to practice some of these coping strategies. So the first one is positive reframing. And that is just taking the situation and then shifting it into a more positive light. So, for example, our neighbors are moving, and I'm sad about that, actually. So that's a change for me because I'm going to have new neighbors straight across the street. And we really love our neighbors. They've lived there for, I don't know, probably 15 years. And so I'm happy for them, but I'm sad for us because we're going to miss them. But then the kind of negative part of it is that I'm a little concerned about who's going to move in. What are our neighbors across the street going to be like? So that's not positive reframing, that's negative reframing. And so to positively reframe that, I have been telling myself, I believe that it's going to be another great family or couple or person that's going to move in that house across the street, and we're going to have these amazing new neighbors, and it'll just be more people that we know and enjoy. Another way to positively reframe is at work. When I was working in the school system, I love change. So actually I find it intriguing and interesting. I'm not unknown things like who's going to be my neighbor. That could add a little bit of anxiousness to my life. But at work, as a teacher, teachers typically do not like change. And boy, anytime we got a new administrator, or, routines would change, or even schedules would change, people would get really, really, negative and keep, just being upset about it. And one way to positively reframe change is to say, this is good for my brain. It's going to help me develop new neural pathways to do things. So you might laugh, but I truly do say that to myself. This is good for my brain. It's going to be good for me to learn a new way. So change can be positively reframed. Another coping strategy is acceptance of the situation. Again, thinking back to work, when there's a change, a new administrator, and then this person comes in and changes how we do things. People will always say, well, we used to do it this way, or we've always done it this way. That's not really accepting that there's a change and a new situation. So kind of refraining from saying things like, we've always done it this way, this is how we used to do it. Just stop saying it and be accepting of the situation instead of living in the past of what is now your past, and be grateful for it and move on. Another way to handle change, a coping strategy, is just to inject humor anytime you can. Humor is a really great way to handle difficult situations. Of course, we don't want to make light of things that are difficult, but sometimes we have to find the humor in it. And instead of, just continually finding the negative, look for something fun, funny, or even positive that you can get out of the change. Being flexible is going to be really important during times of change, and learning to accept the unpredictability of the world is going to help us. Boy, if we haven't learned that in the last 3 years, I don't know what we've learned, but almost nothing should surprise us at this point. And that's being flexible and letting go of expectations and allowing the unknown or the change to be something that brings on stress to our bodies and our minds, and then ultimately impacts our wellness. So we definitely want to have tools to handle these things. So coping with change is inevitable, and we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to learn how to do it. So we want to learn to do it gracefully. The events that come into our lives can be positive or negative, but they still add a stressor because it's an element of the unknown. So it's really important, whether it's a positive change like moving into a new home, a new job that you have, maybe a better work situation. Those are positive, but they're also change, and there's a lot of unknown and difference. But then there's also the negative, where maybe you've lost a loved one, or lost a job, or had to change how you do particular things just because of maybe a physical issue. My sister-in-law had to have shoulder surgery, so she's had to have a lot of change in her life while she heals. So these are things that happen, and they're just things that we have to have tools ready for when we come upon change that's more than just your daily change in the weather. All right. When we were on our trip driving back from Colorado, this is not a picture in the US. I just pulled this off the internet, but there were a lot of areas where they're working on the roads. And when you're driving and you're in the mountains and whatever, and they're working on the roads, they restripe the lanes, and they have them where they're not really tracking with what you see, how you should be going, and the lines are going other ways. And so when that happens, there are lines and there are signs and orange cones and things, but you don't speed up when you have change like that. You actually slow down in the car, right? When you have to shift and drive an unknown road or an unknown way, you have to slow down a little bit. And when we were driving home, some of the road signs, I wish I would have taken pictures of them, but they said things like, stay in your lane, be careful, lane change, or road remarked, watch out. So when there is change in our life, when you're actually in it, or when it's coming, maybe to slow down a little bit, to pay more attention to yourself, how you're feeling in your body, and make sure that you do the things that are going to support yourself through the change, and you will be able to handle it successfully. So how do essential oils help with handling change? Well, there are a lot of ways, and I know that those of you on this that are watching this, that use essential oils, you know that they support our bodies in so many ways. There are countless ways that essential oils can support our bodies and our wellness. And one of the ways that many people who don't even use essential oils for physical situations or health issues, they do use them because they enjoy the aroma and they know that they make them feel particular ways, like happy or uplifted or calm. So essential oils, the chemistry of them actually do make a change in our bodies, and we can use them to help us handle change. So there's no reason when you're going through a lot of change to not reach for your essential oils. And we're going to talk about some of the things that essential oils actually do. They comfort and calm. They support emotional and energetic balance. They usher in peace. They uplift and promote positivity. Essential oils reduce anxiousness and low mood and even stressful situations in the body and the mind. They encourage healing energy for the mind and spirit, and clear the mind and release negative thoughts and energy. And they even provide vitality and emotional fortitude and strength to help you get through times of change. So we're going to look at some oils. Boy, you could go on and on about which oils are going to do this. I'm just going to share with you 10 oils that are single oils that are going to assist with handling change. And then there's a few more because I just couldn't not tell you about them. And I had to stop because we could just go on and on about the oils and the blends. So essential oils to support handling change gracefully. There are so many, but tonight we're going to look at cedarwood, eucalyptus, lemongrass, lime, vetiver, sandalwood, rosemary, and rose. You can see we have some grasses in there, vetiver and lemongrass. We have some herbs. We have tree oils, and we have citrus, and we have floral. So you can see that really every kind of plant is going to support us as we go through difficult times, whether they're positive or negative, but they're just challenging because we are dealing with change. So here we go. Cedarwood. Cedarwood, the one at the top on the left, right over here, encourages the ability to hold steady and persevere. It supports confidence and promotes grounding when facing challenging situations. It's very woodsy, and this is a wonderful oil to use. It is called, from the emotions book, the Essential Emotions book, it's called the oil of community. Now, what I love about this is cedarwood inspires the feeling of belonging and assists the heart in opening to receive love and support from other people. So when you are facing challenging situations that have a lot of change in your life or unknowns, cedarwood is going to allow you to help you allow other people to help you. And sometimes we try to do things alone, and that in these situations, it's so important to find like-minded people who either have gone through what you're going through before, or who can go through it with you and just be a listening ear. So don't forget to use your cedarwood. And remember, when you use your oils, we're going to talk just quickly after how to use them. But the most important thing is to open the bottle and to breathe it in. So don't forget that. Eucalyptus is the next one. It's right here. It supports mental clarity. That's important when you're going through change and you're in an unknown situation and you're having to kind of learn new things. It reduces patterns of negative thinking, and it's uplifting and can increase your vitality, which is very important because we tend to get fatigued and tired when we are overwhelmed with change and the unknown. Eucalyptus is called the oil of wellness. It helps us take on full responsibility for our own emotional and physical wellness. It teaches us to claim wholeness and health. And it addresses the negative emotion of the desire to escape life or responsibilities. And sometimes when you're going through change, you just want to walk away from it. You feel like you don't have what it takes to overcome it. But eucalyptus is going to support you in that. The next one is lemongrass. Lemongrass is an oil that sometimes you smell when you go into a spa. It's comforting and relaxing. It's uplifting during difficult emotional transitions, and it helps to energize the mind and reduce fatigue. So there's another one that's going to help you with that. It is the oil of cleansing from the Essential Emotions book. It's a powerful tool in cleansing the energy in a house, room, or office space. It clears negative energy in the mind and supports the ability to see situations with greater clarity. So this is a great one to diffuse if you're in a new space, to just clear that negative energy. Then we have lime. I love lime. It's one of my favorite citrus oils. It brings sunshine and light to the mind and body. It refreshes and uplifts the spirit, and it provides support during periods of low mood and anxiousness. The lime is called the oil of zest for life. It instills courage and cheer in the heart and reminds us to be grateful. And I think that is so important during times of change. They are difficult. We're having to learn new things. We're uncertain, but lime gives us a zest for life, and maybe will even help us to see it as a new journey or adventure. The next one up at the top is vetiver. This oil is very thick. We like to put a dropper top on our vetiver oil because it is just very thick. However, you can also have a roller bottle of vetiver and add coconut oil to it, and that is helpful. Vetiver is balancing, grounding, and protective. It's restorative, and that's really important when you're going through these times. And when you go to rest at night, you might need to restore for the next day of the change that you're handling. And it can even provide gentle sedation. So again, it's essential oils support the body. They don't force it. So it's going to be gentle, and it's going to help you rest. It's going to help connect with the natural and positive energy all around us. Vetiver is called the oil of centering. It challenges, this was super interesting when I was learning this. It challenges the need to escape pain. It helps find relief, but not through avoidance. So sometimes we have to push through difficult times of transition or change. And we kind of might want to escape because it's just painful, but vetiver is going to help us find relief through that, but not through avoiding it. So we're going to become stronger through it. So that is a wonderful thing to remember about vetiver. The next one is sandalwood. The Hawaiian sandalwood and this sandalwood have very similar properties. I just picked the regular sandalwood because the Hawaiian sandalwood now has a different label, and it's an Hawaiian word that I don't pronounce properly. So I picked sandalwood because this is the one I decided to take a look at. But both sandalwoods are going to have similar characteristics. This is deeply supportive of emotional and energetic terrains. It is encouraging and protective, and it promotes self-acceptance and encourages deeper mindfulness. It might be a good one to start your day and finish your day with. It assists in quieting the mind. It's the oil of sacred devotion. Assists in quieting the mind so you can hear the subtle voice of God. It asks us to assess where our hearts are and challenges us to reorder our priorities. So I think sandalwood would be a great one to start your day with, to help you order your priorities when you're in a season of change, or to even end your day and help you kind of just work through it. The next one is rosemary. This one promotes the clearing of negativity. It encourages a positive outlook and energizes and uplifts the mind. I love rosemary. I cannot walk past a rosemary bush without, grabbing onto it and just smelling just what comes off on my hand. It just is amazing. I love rosemary. It is called the oil of knowledge and transition. And I'm a learner. I love to learn. So maybe that's why I love rosemary so much. But look at that, oil of knowledge and transition. So change. It challenges individuals to look deeper than they normally would. It supports individuals in receiving new information and new experiences. So a rosemary plant would be a beautiful gift for somebody if they're going through change. I know it helps with memory and sometimes even in a loss. Rosemary is a wonderful gift. And so diffusing and using our rosemary oil is going to be really supportive. The next one, the last one I have listed, even though we know there are many more oils that will support us in these times of change, is rose. Now, you know, our rose comes in the touch roller. So if you don't want to spend quite as much on the bottle of rose, you can get it in the roller. Rose eases shock and grief. It relieves tension and agitation and helps return lost self-esteem. It is called the oil of divine love, and it has the highest vibration of all the essential oils. It invites individuals to experience the unwavering, unchanging, unconditional love of the divine. It restores individuals to authenticity, wholeness, and purity. And think about how important that is when you're going through change and transition. It is going to help you experience unwavering, unchanging, unconditional love. And so when you use your rose oil, remember that as you use it and really let that rest in your heart, because I think that's going to really help you through times of change. Some additional supports that I came across through just different reading I was doing are Brave, which is one of our, in our kids collection. It's called the Courage Blend. And Brave is just really a wonderful blend, even for adults. It's in the kids collection because the aroma, the oils in that are oils that children tend to prefer. And so I just want you to not discount those kids collection oils. However, I will say I looked this one up today. We are in April of 2023 when I'm doing this, and this one is right now out of stock. So maybe we needed a lot of Brave. It helps when you're feeling discouraged, if you have low energy or are tired and weary. It helps when you're afraid or scared or lack confidence and motivation. It helps if you're confused and overwhelmed. And it even helps with digestive upset, which often accompanies times of change and uncertainty. Think of children who go to a new school or go do something that they're not sure of and they feel unsure and they say, my tummy doesn't feel well. Well, those things go together. Your body tells you, it reflects a lot of what's happening with your emotional state. So Brave is a great one to roll on the pulse points, at the base of the skull, over the abdomen, and over the heart. Another one to think about when going through times of change, whether it's a positive or negative, is forgive. This one, the reason I chose it is it comes in a bottle you can buy in just a regular little bottle or in the touch line. It helps with unhealthy attachments. So if you have an unhealthy attachment to something that is in your past that you are kind of holding on to and you don't want to accept the change that you're going through, forgive might be a really good one to use. It helps with lack of forgiveness, if you're holding a grudge, if you have anger or frustration. And sometimes we do when we're going through change. We're not happy about the situation and we are frustrated and we might be holding on to negative energy that we need to let go of. And then the adaptive line, I wasn't really going to talk about this, but you cannot talk about handling change gracefully or any difficult situation without at least speaking to adaptive. The adaptive line is amazing. I encourage you to give it a try. It helps with all the things that we are talking about. And let me read to you from the Essential Life book. I thought it was funny because I really wasn't going to talk about it. And then I pulled it up. The top uses, I'll just go through a few, of adaptive are use it for chaotic environments and situations. So if you're going through change, it's going to be chaotic. It is. And lack of tranquility. And you want tranquility when you're going through change. It also is helpful if you have obsessive compulsive kind of thinking where you're just focusing on the negative and how hard it is to change or to go through the transition you're going through. And then even lack of motivation, mental fatigue, inability to stay on task, those sorts of things. So adaptive is really going to support not only the mind, but the physical manifestation of the anxiousness and stress that you might be feeling when you're going through change. So don't forget about your adaptive. The ways you can use these oils when going through change are all the ways that you know. If it's an oil you can take internally, then, for sure you can do that. But really when you're working on your emotional state and all of that, really aromatic and topical, because when you're topical, you're also getting aromatic, are probably the best ways to use your oils. So you can use a diffuser or an inhaler, and you're going to be able to diffuse in your space. Sometimes when you're going through change, you stop even diffusing because you just stop all your routines. So when you're going through a difficult time, take a look at your diffuser. Is it running? Go find one of the oils that you love and diffuse it. One of the oils that I wanted to mention that would be wonderful is Citrus Bloom. Citrus Bloom is 10% off this month, in the month of April of 2023. And let me tell you what it helps with: closed-mindedness, chaotic environments, and a pessimistic outlook. So I think Citrus Bloom would be a great one to diffuse during times of change. You can also use like diffuser jewelry. I have this bracelet with the little beads, and you can put your oils on that, and then you just have it handy. You can have a diffuser necklace, put your oils in that. You can simply open the bottle and, smell. But you also can diffuse or put it in your hands, breathe in deeply, rub it through your hair and over your heart. You can use your oils in lotions, creams, and you can make salves, people that like to do that. This lotion that doTERRA has, the unscented hand and body lotion, is a great one to just squirt in your hand, put a drop of the oils you love, and then apply to your arms and up near your nose so that you can really smell them. And then you can make roller bottles or even room sprays. doTERRA has the room spray bottle that is really, really great. You can just add water, and then, I don't know, I like to do about 40 drops. And if I fill this whole thing up of whatever it is and make a room spray, and then just spray it in the air and walk through it. And that's going to just support your environment with the oils. And you're going to find a lot of good support there. Going through major changes in life is never easy, but fortunately, nature has provided us a treasure trove of plant oils. And I'm sure you all have your treasure box of your oils, but make sure you have them out in your space. Don't have them put away on a shelf in a closed box that you can't get to. Make sure you have oils spread throughout your home or your workspace or wherever it is that you're going through this change, even in your car, in your backpack, your purse, your bag. They're going to provide emotional and energetic support and promote healing for your heart, mind, and spirit. And they can help you handle change gracefully. Then the last thing I just wanted to say is, when you're going through change, take your favorite oil that you're going to be using and really change it up too. But, put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, breathe it in, and every day start your day saying, I will handle change with ease and grace.